Hi folks, it's Tracy, and this week I'm going to show you a quick little project you can do with odd wood and glass beads that you've got lying around. It's fun for summer. So it's a wood mix bracelet. We're going to be using stretchy, and to make it a little more exciting than just beads on stretchy cord, we're going to do a couple of little dangly bits on there. So it'll be colorful and kind of fun. So all we're going to need is a few headpins. I'm going to do about 3. Some stretchy cord. We're using a brand called Opelon, which we like a lot around here because it's fibrous. So if it gets a nick in it, it's a nick in small fibers instead of one large piece that's going to break. And then a mix of wood and glass beads. So the first thing I'm going to do is make about 3 little charms on headpins, and we made them 2 different ways. The first way was a more traditional method, just a basic wrapped loop. So I'm going to put a few beads on there. And I start my wrapped loops with some chain nose pliers, and you are going to grab just above the top bead, and you don't want to take up too much space. The space where my pliers are right now is going to become the space where we do our wrap. So you don't want it to be terribly long. So I'm using the very end of my pliers. And then I'm going to push over the rest of the wire with my thumb to create a 90-degree angle. And you'll see I've got a nice little spot there for my wrap. And then we're going to grab round nose pliers and put them vertically in that notch we made. Bring the wire over the top. And when you get to about here, you want to open them and rotate them out of the way so that you can finish your loop. So you want to do a full 360. And since we're making these first to string on, I can go ahead and wrap this. So I'm going to hold it with my chain nose. And then if the head pin's long enough, you can just use your fingers to do the wrap part. If you have trouble holding on to the wire, you could also use a second pair of chain nose pliers to do this part and just pull it around. So just wrap till you hit the beads. And we're going to trim and tuck that last little bit down. So that guy's ready to go. And the technique I used for the other little dangles we did is also a great technique for younger beaders that are just getting started. Let's see, how about a red one? Because it's not quite as complicated as a regular wrapped loop. We're going to roll down from the top and create a little coil. So it's also a fun little decorative element. So we're not going to trim any. No, let's put one more bead on there just to make it a little longer. Okay. So we're not going to trim at all. We're going to start with our round nose and snag the very edge of the wire. And we're just going to curl down. So I'm going to curl till it won't turn anymore, open the top of the pliers, bring it back around, and keep rolling. And you're just going to work your way down. And it makes like this little coil. And if you want it to be a little tighter, you can even come in, squish it together some. So it makes a fun little dangle with a decorative element on it. So I'm going to do one more of those, just for fun. So again, grab the top and start rolling down. The more you practice them, the better you can get at keeping your coil tight as you roll it. Now I've got 3 charms made, so I'm ready to start stringing. And you're only going to need about 12 inches of the stretchy. I've got significantly more just because I eyeballed it. And you can, if you want, put a bead stopper on the end. Mine's long enough, I'm not going to worry about it. And then really all you have to do is start stringing. So keep it kind of random and fun. If you need to, you can put a needle on the stretchy material. A lot of these beads are going to have holes that are plenty large enough to just string. And when you're ready to put a charm on, you're just going to string through the little loops we made. Just like that. So you're going to keep stringing until it's long enough to just fit around your wrist. So I'm going to string mine and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to finish it. Alright, so I strung all of my little beads together and I tried to get the colorful parts mixed in evenly and some texture mixed in evenly. Got my little dangles on there and it seems like it's a good size. I compared it to my wrist. So what I'm going to do to finish it is take both strands, and my favorite knot to use for this is an overhand knot with both strands. So we're going to tie it like you're tying a balloon. So stretch it just a little bit so that you get tension and pull it around and through. And I'm hanging on to the knot so that I can push it down and keep it tight so I don't end up with a gap in there. So I've got a nice little knot, and I'm just going to take, this is called GS Hypo Cement. It's a cement glue. It's our favorite for fibers and things. We're just going to put a little bit of glue on the knot. And this will dry clear, and it dries flexible because it's a cement glue. It's going to have that kind of rubbery feeling when it's dry. So it's good for stretchy. And it's got this little needle applicator which helps keep it fresh. And typically what I do is I go ahead while the glue's still wet and trim close to the knot. Leave some little tails there. And then we're going to see if we can't pull that into a bead. Especially since this is a wood bead, it'll probably be pretty easy. So we're going to let that knot dry inside the wood bead. Give it a few hours and you'll be ready to wear it. Enjoy!